Now it's a highlight of the rural calendar and a chance for people to get up close to all things farming. I am, of course, talking about the Bath and West show, which kicked off today. Yes, known as much for its socialising and shopping as it is for farming, it's an ideal place to send Bob Crampton and Lisa Knight, who've had a great day for it. And just what the show needs after the wet start last year. Well, what's the weather been like in the last hour or so, you folks?
Well, it has been. The sun has come out, the rain has head off, but it's still freezing cold, isn't it, Bob?
It is a bit blurry, actually. I don't know if you can see behind us. This chap coming around. They had horses here on ponies. Now it's a different horsepower. There he is. They've been jumping over that massive great stand over there. And, of course, the wind hasn't affected them too much, but it is pretty breezy here, isn't it?
But it is going to affect that mass balloon scent very soon.
Yeah, I'm afraid they won't be going up very high. They'll be tethered, so they'll be in here in the next half hour, only 20 feet above the ground. It is just a tad too windy.
I think we might go near one of the burners just to warm ourselves up. But of course, it has been a truly spectacular day to the start of the Bath and West show, as David Woodland reports.
A magnificent Frenchman and his flying machine, and 8 barnacle geese. Christian Mallet was there when his geese, swans and cranes hatched. As a result, they follow him everywhere. In France, flying with the birds is no problem. Over here, red tape in the form of the Agriculture Ministry and Civil Aviation Authority almost cooked Christian's goose. But the bureaucratic shackles were finally cut, and his family of faithful followers won the hearts of the crowd.
Absolutely unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it.
It was marvellous. You get the birds to stay like that.
Brilliant, isn't it, really? Absolutely original. I've never seen anything like it before. That's superb, that is. I'd like to see him come down wherever he's going to come down.
Luckily, there's another camera in the landing strip. We counted them all out, and we counted them all back again. Monsieur Mallet says there's nothing better than to be in the air with his birds.
It was really great over all this public, so many people, and all the people do that, and it was really great for me.
He wasn't the only person leaving terra firma. The Bold Dogs motorcycle team amazed a huge crowd with this. Mercifully today, the paramedics had it easy. But the tens of thousands who are enjoying the sun here today really came for the animals. From frolicking piglets to giant cattle and dour sheep, Wednesday is Judgment Day for the livestock. This year, the lake is playing host to the canoe village. They'll give you a crash course in kayaking.
Hold on to the paddle shaft, right angles to the blade, lean forward, put the paddle in, twist it, put the left hand in and keep going. Very simple, isn't it?
Let's go.
OK, let's go.
The straight line I'd intended to make became somewhat curvy.
Now we don't want to go into the reed, so you need to go backwards on one side now to turn the boat round. No, backwards on the right. No, a little bit more. Too late.
We'll draw a discreet veil over what happened next. Now, it's possible to get virtually any type of food here, from ostrich meat to death by chocolate.
There's also a hideous number of ways you can lose your lunch.
These things take their passengers 100 stomach-churning feet up. But if it all gets too much, just lie back and let it all wash over you. David Woodland, the Bath and West show for the West Tonight.
Actually, come to think of it, I haven't seen David since. I think he's still lying under that tree. Well, aside from all the spectacles that you can see here, of course, the heart of the Bath and West show is all about the farming community. And it's had a very tough time over the last few years, decades even. And they're increasingly finding it very hard to attract young farmers into the business. Well, we've been following one young farmer that has decided to make it his career, as Ellie Louise Ringe reports.
It's not your average pastime for a 24-year-old, but while his contemporaries may be happier down the pub, James Sage from Hinton Blewett is right at home in the ring, showing his prize-winning pigs. As runner-up in last year's Young Farmer of the Year competition, he's one of the country's most promising agricultural talents. But with less young people going into the industry than ever before, he's becoming something of a rare breed himself.
We've put months and months of work and effort and training and pampering and feeding and getting up at 6:30 every morning, and you'd just like to see it rewarded, really. Young people find it notoriously difficult, will find it impossible probably to get into agriculture, and I don't think I'll ever be able to do what I'd love to do, which is own my own farm.
It's a problem facing many budding farmers. Some say the financial restrictions and lack of support for those with a passion for all things agricultural mean their interest can never become anything more than a hobby. And without an intake of new talent, the farming industry could be looking at a grim future.
And without, younger people and new people coming into agriculture, there's no opportunity for, fresh ideas, and any industry thrives on, regeneration, constant regeneration.
At this year's show, James has some A-list competition in the form of celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay, who's also showing. But while the celebrity sightings might aid farming's popularity, for young enthusiasts like James, it's all done for the love of the animals. And of course, the odd prestigious award doesn't hurt either. Ellie Louise Ringe for the West Tonight.
James Sage there, winning third. Well, I've come inside to one of my favourite tents here at the Bath and West Show, the food and drink tent. All of the food in here is made here in Somerset. And let's start off with the wine. Oatley Vineyard, a Somerset wine. Has it been a good day for you?
It's been fantastic, despite the fact that it's been a bit chilly. Of course, in the tent you don't realise. People have been buying vast amounts of lovely cold white wine.
Well, I suppose I should have a little sample of this. I mean, it wouldn't be, fair if I didn't sample the produce. Let's move on from the wine. Of course, what goes with wine? Cheese goes with wine, and this is a very local cheddar from just down the road.
It certainly is, absolutely. It's a traditional unpasteurised Westcombe cheddar, just made up the road on our farm, near Evercreech, basically.
Well, let's give some of that a try, because I've tried the wine, so here's my cheese as well. Actually, I have to say, I snuck a little bit of the cheese earlier, and it was absolutely delicious. Very, very strong tasting. Now, if you don't fancy the savoury delights, you can move on to something slightly sweeter. Actually, yes, we are in chocolate heaven. We have a chocolate fountain here. How well is this doing here at the show? It's new this year, isn't it?
Very fun. New in this tent, but we were here last year in another area. So we're very, very good. Would you like a taste?
I can feel a few people jealous at the moment. I'm going to have to eat that after this. And of course, not only do we have chocolate, we can have the cider as well. Burrow Hill cider from Minehead. Tell me what you've got there.
Kingston Black aperitif. It's made with the famous Kingston Black apple. Sweet, strong, lovely aftertaste.
Sweet, strong. Not sure about the lovely aftertaste, but Bob, bet you wish you had some.
Yeah, actually he sneaked a little earlier on, slurped it all down straight away. I actually was toasting this machine. It doesn't look much like it, but this could be a record breaker in the making. We'll be speaking to the man who's going to be driving around Britain in a minute or two. But first of all, we go to a group of gentlemen who, of course, made a combine harvester a bit of an icon and taught us how to drink liberally all that cider. They've been performing a little earlier at the showground. Ah, you've got me by surprise, actually. I hadn't actually realised you were coming to talk to me. I'll be talking to this gentleman in a minute, but let's go to the Wurzels, and Lisa Aziz has been talking to them. Lisa, nice.
Thanks, Bob. Well, that was the Wurzels performing here earlier today, and I'm pleased to say that two of them join me now with their signer, needless to say. Thanks for talking to us. Cheers. I will have one later on. Now, that looked like great fun, but there is a serious reason for why you're here today as well.
Yeah, the other reason is it's very close to my heart, actually, and it's prostate cancer. And Terry, who you're going to talk to later, he's actually going to ride his tractor around the whole of Great Britain and Ireland under sponsorship to raise money for prostate cancer and diabetes.
Now, you were diagnosed with the disease last year. Fortunately, you've made a great recovery, and that is the important thing, getting a diagnosis early and treated early.
Get it as early as possible, but unfortunately the government will not allow it, and we need to get everybody checked early.
Well, it's good that you're raising awareness of it, but of course there is a fun side to the whole day as well. You guys have been here at the Bath and West show probably for more years than you care to remember. It's always a great day out, isn't it?
That's right, 30 years. 30 years we've been coming to the Bath and West.
Yep.
In fact, we launched our #1 record, Combine Harvester, right here all those years ago, and it's a great thrill to come here every year.
Well, I hate to tell you, but you know, that Combine Harvester song, might have a bit of rivalry because Terry Williams, the chap that is embarking on this world record attempt, has released a new single and it's about a tractor. And Bob, I think you're about to tell us more.
Yeah, Lisa, it's not a combine harvester. As you can see, it's an old Ferguson tractor known as Betsy, and the man who's going to drive it all the way around Britain is Terry Williams. He's here with me. Why are you doing this, Terry?
Set a new world record for the longest tractor journey.
Well, why a Ferguson?
60 years ago, the Ferguson first was produced, and this is to celebrate 60th anniversary.
And it looks great, doesn't it? Now, I must tell you that Terry's going to be towing his own caravan he's made all the way around Britain. Follow me, Steve. We're going to go and see it now. It's built of corrugated iron. Here it is. Just look inside. Isn't that marvellous? All your caravanners eat your heart out. All the mod cons apart from a loo. Let's go back and talk to Terry more about this journey of his. Terry, what's going to be the biggest problem, do you think, all the way around?
Drivers, I think.
Why is that?
I should be holding them up because I only have travelled at 12 miles an hour.
What sort of experiences have you had so far with them?
Quite horrendous in some parts of the country.
Now, this is an old machine. It's going to use up quite a lot of fuel, isn't it? How much fuel to get all the way around Britain and, 15,000 miles?
Approximately 7,000 litres.
That's an awful lot of fuel, isn't it?
It's a lot of fuel.
And you're setting off when?
July the 1st from the Pamber Inn near Wedmore.
Terry, the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
Well, I couldn't do that, let alone drive around Britain 15,000 miles, let alone on an old tractor like this. What a beauty she is. I'll hand you back to some other beauties in the studio.
Too kind, Bob. Thanks very much.